Everyone mentioned today is innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and everything I discuss here is theory until proven fact, even if it is.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss, that's fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean, and I bring it to the mad light, ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel, I took the red pill, I know life's short, so I wanna live real, but how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Merging. Hey guys, how you going? I might not be on my best game today. Oh, why do I sound like I'm echoing? Am I echoing to you guys? Oh, my computer's chucked a wobbly this morning. Thank you, Carl, too. You're a legend, mate. I am echo. Okay, let me see if I can work it out. Oh, this is ridiculous. Is there anything else? Oh, hang on. Why is video capture device doing it? Right. There's one. Two. Can you hear me? Okay, I think I've fixed it for now. I hope I fixed it for now. Oh my goodness, my computer shut down again this morning, so if it shuts down, I don't know what to do. I think I'm going to end up having to get a new computer. Yeah, don't know what's going on there. I've had about 3 hours sleep, so that doesn't help. Oh dear, we had a bit of a night with my mum. Okay. How you going, Kai, Alex, Deb? Who else is in here? And I've got a bit of a cold. There you go. We have out to lunch, Shannon, Maria, Paul. Who else have we got? Shane, Timmy. How you going? Who else? Michelle, how you going? Okay, I think I fixed the echo now, so that should be, okay, let's just get on with it. I'm so tired. Anywho, let's not worry about that. Okay. Oh, Melania's come out. Swinging. No. Eric Doherty said, breaking House Oversight Chair James Comer has agreed to First Lady Melania's request to hold public hearings for Epstein victims. Comer says he'll hold hearing once depositions are finished. I agree with the First Lady. We will have hearings. That's good. And she's also asked people to stop linking her with Epstein. She did not know Epstein. And I believe that's a warning before you're going to get sued. Oh, shoot. Hey, Joe, how you going? Okay, and Lester, how you going? Okay. We have Eric Doherty saying, breaking, President Trump just went off saying Iran has no cards on the short-term extortion of the world by using international waterways. The only reason they're alive today is to negotiate. The Iranians are better at handling the fake news media and public relations than they are at fighting. And that's what he said. President Donald J. Trump. Hey, Zell, how you going? Clandestine said, finally, Trump just went nuclear on the woke right losers, naming Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, Alec Jones and MTG, who have been saying some of the weirdest stuff. I believe Alex Jones wants someone to 25th Amendment his ass. Candace is saying, put Grandpa in a home. Tucker Carlson said, you should not go at Muslims when Trump said F them, you know. Okay, the lines in the sand have been drawn very clearly. These anti-Trump scumbags are not part of MAGA. They never were part of MAGA and are relevant to the mission. Donald J. Trump said, I know why Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens and Alex Jones have all been fighting me for years, especially by the fact that they think it's wonderful for Iran, the number one state sponsor of terror, to have a nuclear weapon. Because they have one thing in common, low IQs. They're stupid people, they know it, their families know it, and everyone else knows it too. Look at their past, look at their record, they don't have what it takes, and they never did. They've all been thrown off television, lost their shows, and aren't even invited on TV because nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. Now they think they get some clicks because they have third-rate podcasts, but nobody's talking about them. And their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. Yeah, people are saying, they're saying we got Trump over the line. Really? No, you didn't. Okay. And their views are the opposite of MAGA. Or I wouldn't have won the presidential election in a landslide. MAGA agrees with me and just gave CNN 100% approval rating of Trump, not hand-flailing fools like Tucker Carlson, who couldn't even finish college. He was a broken man when he got fired from Fox. He's never been the same. Perhaps he should see a good psychiatrist. Or Megyn Kelly, who nastily asked me the now famous only Rosie O'Donnell question, or crazy Candace, who accuses the highly respected First Lady of France of being a man when she is not, and will hopefully win lots of money in the ongoing lawsuit. Actually, to me, the First Lady of France is a far more beautiful woman than Candace. In fact, it's not even close. Oh, no. Oh, Trump. Or bankrupt Alex Jones, who said some of the dumbest things. He lost his entire fortune, as he should have, for his horrendous attack on the families of the Sandy Hook shooting victims, ridiculously claiming it was a hoax. I really want someone to debunk all this stuff if that's true. These so-called pundits are losers, and they always will be. Now, fake news, CNN, the failing New York Times and all of the other radical leftist news organisations are hailing them and giving them positive press for the first time in their lives. Look, if the press said anything positive about me, I'd be rethinking myself, seriously. They're not MAGA, they're losers, just trying to latch on to MAGA. As president, and plus they've all flip-flopped constantly, as president, I could get them on my side anytime I want to, but when they call, they don't return their calls because I'm too busy on world and country affairs. And after a few times, they go nasty, just like Marjorie Traitor Brown. Oh, Trump. But I no longer care about that stuff. I only care about doing what's right for our country, which is fair enough. MAGA is about winning and strength and not allowing Iran to have nuclear weapons. MAGA is about making America great again, and these people have no idea how to do that. But I do, because the United States is now the hottest country anywhere in the world. President Donald J. Trump. Oh, wow. That was funny, actually. Awakened Outlaw said, oh, Dan Scavino Jr. posted this. And now the end is near and I must face the final curtain. Is that how it goes? Anyway, I can't play it because YouTube will get me. Hang on. Let me see if I can just play a tiny bit of it while talking over the top of it so I can fight the copyright. Okay? So now the end is near, sorry. And as I face the final curtain, I have to destroy it. I'm sorry, okay? Because they'll still get me for that, and I'll try, but I will apologise to them for ruining their song by talking or singing directly over the top of it, because that's what I'm going to do from now on. It's worked on a couple of them when I appeal them. Nick Sautor said, breaking, 5 people have just been arrested in California after a crackdown targeting fake LA hospice centres. 10 places were raided last night. This single scheme resulted in $267 million in bogus charges to American taxpayers. Keep arresting and make examples out of them. How you going, J1 and Pork Chop Media? How you going? Okay. So there you go. People arrested in California, fake hospice. Sounds like our NDIS here in Australia. Drew Pavlou said, I spent 3 hours reading Ben Roberts-Smith, the soldier who's been arrested here in Australia. Meanwhile, they let all the Arabs go who threaten Australia. This guy's a war hero. His documents this morning and found something pretty incredible. Too long, didn't read, and this is very long, okay? Previous court cases addressing Ben Roberts-Smith war crime allegations relied on the testimony of illiterate Afghan villagers who called him an infidel. Part of the war crime claims made against Ben Roberts-Smith relied upon the testimony of Afghan villagers who openly told Australian courts that they viewed Roberts-Smith and Australian soldiers as infidels. Nine Media relied upon the testimony of 3 key Afghan witnesses in order to support the claim that Roberts-Smith executed a farmer named Ali Jan, who he claimed was a Taliban spotter. These men were illiterate subsistence villagers who expressed hatred for infidels, including Australian soldiers, during the trial. Hanifa, I nearly said Hantifa, pictured in court drawings wearing a green shawl, acknowledged directly that foreign soldiers were called infidels or kafir and that he did not like them. He also confirmed that persons killed by soldiers were called martyrs and that he hated Australian soldiers for going near our women. He said if they are coming to our houses, going inside to our women, of course that's why we call them infidels. And they didn't say they're not raping their women or anything, okay? They're just going inside because they're probably arresting them too, or checking the houses out. Mangool pictured in the court drawings wearing a blue shawl expressed hatred of foreign soldiers and confirmed his view that they were infidels. I've just heard that like 3 times. He said he did not like the Taliban but still referred to Australian soldiers as infidels. Okay, well, why do you refer to them as infidels when that's Taliban speaking point? According to Daily Mail court reporting, oh God, I wouldn't trust them either, when asked if he hated the soldiers who invaded his country and did not share his Islamic faith, Mangool said it's like that. Hanifa also told the court that when soldiers arrived by helicopter, he took a donkey from Ali Jan in an attempt to make them both appear to be nomads. Okay, the actual mechanics of their testimony is incredible in and of itself. Hanifa told the federal court a man named Dr. Sharif paid for his accommodation, food and transport for up to a year in support of his ability to testify against Roberts-Smith. Who's this Dr. Sharif? And he should be looked at too. Dr. Sharif worked for representatives of 9 newspapers as a fixer in Afghanistan. What do you know? Each Afghan key witness said that a local representative for 9 Media paid their families' living expenses since moving to Kandahar, then Kabul, earlier in the year. Wow. According to Daily Mail court reporting, one key witness was accompanied by his wife and children, another by his wife and 6 children, and third had 14 relatives with him. And the logistics regarding court translation were incredible. The only available court-certified Pashto interpreter lived in Ontario, Canada. When hearings commenced at 10:15 p.m. in Sydney, it was 8:15 p.m. in Ontario and 4:45 a.m. in Kabul. The Afghan witnesses therefore gave evidence about murders in a Taliban stronghold through a 3-way international audio-visual link at dawn, interpreted by someone in a different hemisphere. What a mess. The court-certified Pashto interpreter conceded that he had difficulty translating from classical Pashto to the rural Pashto dialect the men spoke. All 3 ultimately testified they did not see the alleged shooting execution of Ali Jan, but 2 said they directly observed Robert Smith kick him off the cliff. Robert Smith has always maintained that Ali Jan was a Taliban spotter in a village that was Taliban's stronghold. As a matter of historical fact, there was a confirmed armed Taliban presence in the village of Darwan the day of the raid, and that Robert Smith killed a confirmed armed Taliban militant during the wider operation. Robert Smith was operating in the village of Darwan while searching for someone I can't pronounce, Hekmatullah, a Taliban sleeper agent in the Afghan National Army who massacred 3 Australian soldiers in cold blood as they prepared to sleep on their own base. This massacre of Australian soldiers was technically a Taliban war crime. By enlisting in the Afghan National Army and wearing its uniform, Hekmatullah had presented himself as a co-belligerent fighting alongside Australian forces, not against them. This made him guilty of the war crime of perfidy. Judge Bersanko ultimately dismissed the infidel Kiefer argument in a single paragraph for each witness, bracketed with the Dr. Sharif's financial support writing. However, I do not consider the infidel argument, or indeed the other general motive to lie advanced by the applicant of the sustenance, food and transportation provided by the respondents through Dr. Sharif to be strong motives for Muhammad Hantifa to lie. Really? Who is this judge? I want to sell him a bridge. Okay, in my opinion, this represents an instance of the Australian legal system failing to grapple with the cultural gulf between Australian morals and Pashtunwali morals, raised in a deeply conservative Pashtun culture in which foreign soldiers are categorically viewed as enemies of the faith. Living day to day in Taliban stronghold village, I believe the hatred that these men had towards Australian soldiers means their testimony cannot be fully trusted. You think? Wow. Robert Smith barristers directly put it to Mangool that his religion permitted lying to infidels in some circumstances. Mangool rejected the suggestion, but the mere fact that Robert Smith's own counsel felt compelled to raise the question in open court speaks to the culture gulf I'm describing. It must be said that their testimony was not the only testimony against Robert Smith that day. Their words were held up as corroborating the words of an Australian soldier, Person 4. Basenko J and the full court both wrote that even setting aside the Afghan witnesses' evidence, Person 4's account stood. That said, it feels deeply wrong to me that the Australian courts did ultimately choose to rely upon the evidence of men who openly admitted they viewed Australian soldiers as infidels and subjects of contempt. It feels like a particularly troubling example of misplaced institutional deference, treating the admission of deep religious hostility as insufficient to question the reliability of evidence. These Afghan witnesses may now testify again in the criminal trial against Robert Smith, where the standard of proof is beyond reasonable doubt rather than the civil balance of probabilities. They better do the right thing. The criminal standard of beyond reasonable doubt is substantially higher than the civil balance of probabilities standard at which the defamation findings were made. It is hard to see their evidence alone passing muster at a criminal standard. Oh my God, you get low IQ people, pay them enough and they'll say anything. Dan Scavino Jr. said there are many dedicated people in government who could leave tomorrow, earn tens if not hundreds of thousands of dollars a month as so-called influencers on social media, but they chose to serve the American people instead, all while the so-called influencers talk shit all day long, get paid big money for clicks and impressions. We see you. Good. Because I don't earn, I'm not earning from ad revenue. I certainly don't get that much, so I don't think they're talking about me. I hope not. No, they're not. They're talking about the big influencers. Mike Bale said this is pure evil. Breaking news, Courtney Williams, 40, Wagram NC, former Armour Special Military Unit employee, Delta Force support, 2010 to 2016, top secret clearance, arrested and indicted for leaking classified tactics, techniques and procedures to journalist Seth Harp for his 2025 book, The Fort Bragg Cartel, and related reporting. People are getting held accountable. How you going, Sherry? Good to see you. Okay, Eric Doherty said breaking President Trump just revealed Iran is privately caving to American demands and he's very optimistic a peace deal is within reach. Trump also says Israel will scale down the strikes in Lebanon, which Lebanon is not part of the peace deal. Let's freaking go. 47's on track to win. Trump, if they don't make a deal, it's going to be very painful. Iran leaders talk much differently when you're at a meeting than they do to the press. They're much more reasonable, he tells NBC. They're agreeing to all the things they have to agree to. Remember, they've been conquered. They have no military. I spoke with BB and he's going to low-key it. I just think we have to be sort of a little more low-key. Trump's really about to do it. Well done, mate. Nick Sortor said just in, Italian PM Giorgia Meloni is considering using Italy's military to assist with America's mission in the Strait of Hormuz if necessary, following President Trump publicly calling out NATO. Well, of course, now NATO seems to have turned around and now they're going to help, apparently, allegedly. How you going, flyby? Of course, NATO as a whole won't be doing anything as expected. This was on the 10th of April. It's now, well, it's the 11th, a day later. But the Italians may be stepping up on their own. And breaking on the 9th of April, US President Donald Trump will make a major announcement today, 6 p.m. He did announce the peace deal. Eric Doherty said it's official after pressure from President Trump. NATO says they're willing to help in the Strait of Hormuz. It's insane that America has to put this much pressure on allies to get them to move on anything. NATO should not offer words, they should offer warships. But apparently they have now. Okay, Barron Trump commentary account said, boom, corrupted bomb detonated. Corruption bomb detonated, sorry? Not a corrupted bomb. Sounds a bit weird. President Trump just announced a massive press conference today to drop the names on billions in taxpayer cash stolen through kickbacks and dirty swamp deals. I'm going to read you some of the names. Sounds like the Ukraine money laundering war. Interesting. I want to see the update to that one. Henry said huge news following immense pressure from President Trump and patriots across the country, and an appeals court in Colorado has thrown out Tina Peters' sentence. Per the court, the 9-year sentence violated her First Amendment rights. This is a huge step towards freeing Tina Peters. She will now be resentenced to a much lower term, possibly even time served, so she should. Time served, which would secure her immediate release. Keep fighting. Free Tina Peters, a 73-year-old woman with cancer, given a 9-year death sentence in a Colorado prison by a Democrat governor, Jared Polis, and a corrupt political machine for exposing fraud by the Democrats during the 2020 presidential election. Again, free Tina. I agree. The skiff, sorry, I was just trying to move and my hand gave out. The skiff said Melania Trump just cooked the mainstream media and influencers about all the lies about herself, President Trump and Epstein. The lies linking me with Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. I have never been friends with Epstein. This is a warning and I suggest you listen. I think people are about to get sued. Oh, by the way, Candace Owens is trying to get the Macrons to drop their lawsuit. She's trying to get out of it. Privately, but publicly, she's saying, bring it on, bring it on. Yeah, let's see. Eric Doherty said just in, UK PM Keir Starmer's being ripped worldwide after proclaiming we just reached a ceasefire. He sounds like Albanese. Albanese did the same thing. You didn't do it, neither did Albo. The UK refused to help President Trump and had no role in pulling this off. It's not we, not even close. You bloody moron. Clown. Eric Doherty said just in, California AG Rob Bonta panics, says Trump is late to the party for fraud prosecutions. While healthcare fraud might be President Trump's shiny new political talking point, California DOJ has been going after healthcare fraud since 1979. I think he's panicking. Bonta knows the fraud jig is up, and Gavin Newsom is facing career-ending crisis because of how much fraud went not prosecuted for years. More raids and arrests come from the Trump's DOJ. Yeah, I think you're a bit worried there, mate. I think a lot of worldwide, I think that a lot of them are getting a bit worried. Eric Doherty said breaking House Democrats just started yelling on the floor after the GOP presiding officer blocked their War Powers resolution to stop President Trump's Operation Epic Fury. He slammed the gavel and Democrats raged, "Shame. Hey, Democrats, we're already in ceasefire mode. Pathetic games." Can you hear anything if I play this? Hang on. No.
Adjourned until 2:30 p.m. on Monday, April 13th, 2026.
You heard the end of it anyway, I think. Let me know. Just let me know, because all the settings went askew. I don't know what's going on with my computer, but something's going on. Yeah, Sherry, I hope Melania sues their ass off too. She had nothing to do with Epstein, but people still want to put it all together and say, oh, yes, she did. Couldn't before. Okay, thank you, Alex. That was because of the echo. Elon Musk said Canada's cooked. Oh, dear God. Now this. Samantha Smith. The MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+, the Canadian government just dropped this absolute monstrosity, and no, it isn't satire. They now have the MMIWG2SLGBTQQIA+. What the hell? LGBTQIA. They forgot the P for pedo. Okay. Oh, where am I going here? Liz Churchill said in 2021, treasonous liar John Kerry leaked classified US intel straight to Iran's terrorist regime. These rabid leftists aren't anti-war, they're pro-enemy. I'd say they're getting money out of this. They're laundering. It's another Ukraine thing. Kerry should be in Gitmo, not flying around on a private jet bitching about climate change. I can't wait till people start getting locked up, man. Seriously? Eric Doherty said JD Vance drops truth on Iran. If Iran wants to let this negotiation fall apart when they were getting hammered over Lebanon, which was never part of the ceasefire, that's ultimately their choice. We think that would be dumb. I believe that would be very dumb. Eric Doherty said breaking, President Trump slaps 50% tariff on any country supplying Iran with military weapons on all goods sold to the US. There will be no inclusions or exemptions effective immediately. Good. President DJT. Right Angle News Network. Remember this chick that I showed you the other day? Breaking, Melissa Halverson, the leftist Michigan woman who made a video celebrating the possible capture and death of a downed US airman at the hands of Iran, has been fired from her position as an administrative assistant at Green Apple Pantry. The Green Apple Pantry. At the Green Apple Pantry, we're committed to fostering a welcoming, respectful and inclusive environment for our neighbours, staff and the broader community. The views expressed by a former employee's social media posts are solely those of the individual and do not reflect the beliefs, principles or mission of the Green Apple Pantry. We have zero tolerance for hateful or discriminatory behaviour in any form. We remain dedicated to serving our community with integrity, respect and care, and we appreciate your continued support and trust. There you go. Replying to the White House, said RIP to the grifters and panicans who side with Iran over America. The lot of you. The lot of you morons. Absolute, utter morons. I mean, Alex woke me up a long time ago, but, you know, and I used to like Tucker. I used to like Candace. Megan Kelly, never Nick Fuentes or whoever half these other people are. Ian Carroll, I kind of fell for him at the beginning. I thought he was okay, but realised very quickly, no. Be careful. Be careful who you follow. Even me. See? I can smell bacon. Oh, my God, my daughter's cooking bacon. MJ Truth Ultra said President Trump, Megyn Kelly, may she rest in peace. She sort of made a career by pretending she likes me. MJ Truth Ultra also said Megyn Kelly says she's sick and tired of President Trump's shit. He's disgusting, and those who say he's playing 3D chess to negotiate, shut up with that shit. Can't he just behave like a normal human being? No, look, everyone wanted a bull in a china shop, and that's what happened. You're a nobody. Normal like who, Megan? Obama? He was pretty normal and fucked this country up big time. You cheered him along too, remember? DOQ said if you read between the lines, it appears we have control of both Israel and Iran. Well done, Donald Trump, US military and Q team, bravo. And I believe that's what's happening. Trump's got control of Israel and Iran, not the other way round. I know a lot of people want to think that, but no, it's not. Question said she got a medal for COVID. This is our Australian Federal Police, whatever she is. What is it, Commissioner? She's got medals all over her. She's never been to war, right? These are what her medals are for. Citations. OP protects citation for a COVID response. An AFP 40th anniversary citation. An AFP partnership group citation. The medals on her right breast. Solomon Islands Police Cooperation Medal. An ACT Community Policing Medal. Australian Federal Police Operations Medal handed out for operations. An ACT Emergency Medal, 2003 bushfires. AFP Service Medal, 10 years, also at 2025, 30, etc. Medals on her left breast. Australian Police Medal, Police Overseas Service Medal, National Emergency Medal, bushfires, etc. National Police Service Medal and National Medal. These people are morons. The people who run our government are utter morons. Jeez. Graham Allen said it's being reported the United States government is about to investigate influencers and who's paying them. Yeah, go Trump. Foreign countries are trying to manipulate Americans. Finally, expose all these frauds. I'll be the first to hand over my financials. Me too. These grifters must be exposed because I'm not earning. The only thing I earn on YouTube is what you guys donate. That's it. I'm not putting ads in. YouTube keep giving me an email every day saying, congratulations, you can access ad revenue. And I keep thinking, no, thank you very much. But I'll gladly give Trump my financials if he wants. True, too. I'm not being paid by anyone. Only you guys who help me out every now and then, you know? Nick Sautor said breaking President Trump will be discussing withdrawing the US from NATO this afternoon. This was before NATO agreed to help, I think. With NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte, he was the one who turned around and said, we'll be helping. They were tested and they failed, Trump said. It's time. NATO needs the US. We don't need them. Flopping Aces said the globalist crybaby coalition is having a full-on meltdown and it's glorious. The Pope, Spain's socialist clown-in-chief, Keir Starmer, The Guardian and every pearl-clutching Democrat just watched Donald Trump do what 47 years of limp-wristed, cash-stuffed, can-kicking diplomacy could never do, force the Iranian regime to its knees. He didn't beg, he didn't bribe. He looked the terrorist mullahs dead in the eye and said the whole civilization was about to be wiped off the map unless they opened the Strait of Hormuz right now. Result, 2-week ceasefire, complete, immediate and safe opening of the strait locked in. The 10-point proposal for long-term peace already on the table. The 10-point one you've seen on the media was not the right one. The one where everyone said, Iran just won this. No, they didn't. While that was happening, the left was screaming for the 25th Amendment. Ro Khanna was on his knees offering Iran safety guarantees and inviting China and Russia to the party. And Lawrence O'Donnell, oh, where'd that go? What the hell now? Was straight up unhinged, claiming Trump's election already killed the civilization. Even the Pope called the threat unacceptable. Cry harder, Your Holiness. 47 years of Iranian blood and terror was apparently fine, but Trump's tweets were too mean. Trump's teats are too mean? Oh, his tweets are too mean. Yoda said it best in the meme, that's why you fail. Weakness gets you endless war, balls get you results. Only Trump delivers, exactly, like a bull in a china shop. Retards Down Under said this podcaster, Friendly Geordies, who a lot of Australians like, but he's very left-leaning, Friendly Geordies, whatever his name is, he thinks he's risked his life for the country. This was said in a video celebrating the arrest of Victorian Cross recipient, someone who actually risked their life for this country. You have not risked your life for the country. You are a nobody but a, influencer for the left. God. I would never say I put my life on the line for my country. All I do is sit on the internet and whinge. There you go, George. Maria. I said hello, Maria, didn't I? Sandy. And Conchega. And anyone else who's joined, I'll get to you in a minute. Swamp Drainer said, posted this. Donald J. Trump, numerous agreements, lists and letters are being sent out by people that have absolutely nothing to do with the USA-Iran negotiations. In many cases, they are total fraudsters, charlatans and worse. They will be rapidly exposed after our federal investigation is completed. There is only one group of meaningful points that are acceptable to the United States, and we will be discussing them behind closed doors during these negotiations. These are the points that are the basis on which we agreed to a ceasefire. It is something that is reasonable, can easily be dispensed with. Very much like fake news CNN last night headlining a source that had no power or authority to write a letter claiming great authority. President Donald J. Trump. Oh, what's this one? Holy crap, what's going on here? Dion Sinney said, they see you in the NT list, version 4. Benny Johnson, Alex Jones, JP Sears, Lauren Bobert, Brian Glenn, Joe Kent, Savannah Hernandez, Alex Stein, Matt Walsh, Jake Shields, Matt Gates, Mike Cernovich, Sean Ryan, Milo Yiannopoulos, Candace Owens, the Hodge Twins, Nick Fuentes, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Anna Kasparian, yep, Senk Ugas, Tate Bros, Myron Gaines, Ian Carroll, Megan Kelly, Thomas Massey, Owen Schroyer, Steve Bannon, Jackoff Pasobic, and every Democrat except Fetterman. They all turn on Trump. Watch them flip-flop. If you watch any of these people, just watch them keep flip-flopping, flip-flopping, flip-flopping back and forward. We support Trump. No, we don't. We support Trump. No, we don't. Paul Templeton said in Coffs Harbour, here in Australia, the local council held 2 plebiscites during council elections. Fluoride in the water, a clear majority of residents voted against it. The New South Wales state government overruled the vote and forced fluoridation anyway. Jetty Foreshores development. Residents voted against any residential development. The state government and both major parties have ignored the result and are pushing the development forward. Twice the people were asked. Twice they gave clear answer. Twice that answer was ignored. This is how democracy actually works in Australia today. Your vote is purely advisory. The state decides regardless of what the public says. There you go. Craig Kelly said, what type of justice system do we have when 9 News television camera was waiting at the airport to film Ben Robert Smith arrest? I believe they leaked it. It was coordinated, very, very coordinated, because how else did the media get there to know he's going to be arrested? What's the tie-up between 9, who have it in for Ben Robert Smith after the lengthy defamation case, and the AFP? So what's the link between Channel 9 Australia and the Australian Federal Police? That's what people are asking now. Someone leaked it. L.H. Gray said Trump derangement syndrome isn't a meme. It's a full-blown psychiatric pathology, a metastatic cancer of the mind that hollows out prefrontal cortex function and replaces it with pure, unfiltered limbic rage. You see it in their eyes first, that 1,000-yard stare the second Trump's name hits the airwaves or you mention him. Pupils dilate, jaws clench. Rational thought evaporates like piss on hot asphalt. What follows is a clinical meltdown, screaming, frothing conspiracy spasms and an instantaneous collapse into the most unhinged, profane, self-immolating tantrum the species has ever industrialised. Every single waking second. This isn't politics, this is psychological possession. The afflicted don't disagree with Trump, they're existentially allergic to his very existence. He functions as a human mirror held up to their deepest insecurities, hypocrisies and power fantasies, and the reflection makes them want to smash the glass with their own skulls. Cognitive dissonance doesn't even begin to cover it. This is full-spectrum narcissistic injury on a societal scale. Every Trump victory, every unscripted truth bomb, every norm-shattering tweet is experienced as personal rape of their moral superiority complex. The amygdala hijacks the entire operating system. Higher reasoning, offline. Empathy, vaporised. They become rabid, drooling attack dogs for a cult that doesn't even know it's a cult. And here's the lethal, beautiful truth they'll never admit. Donald J. Trump is the greatest psychological operator alive. He doesn't just trigger them, he weaponises their own pathology with surgical, sadistic precision. He knows the exact frequency of their neurosis. He speaks in the forbidden tongue that bypasses every institutional filter and lodges straight in the lizard brain. One perfectly timed post, one offhand remark, one refusal to bow, and the entire regime media, academic, bureaucratic complex starts shitting itself in synchronised hysteria. He doesn't play their game. He makes them play his. And they lose their goddamn minds every single time because they're biologically incapable of not reacting. That's not luck. That's mastery. Trump understands something the pearl-clutching commentariat never will. The modern mind is soft, propagandised and addicted to moral outrage as its primary dopamine hit. He starves the addiction, then force-feeds them the very thing they crave, except it's laced with truth they can't metabolize. The result is public psychosis on a scale that would make Freud blush and Jung take notes. They don't oppose his policies, they oppose the man who exposes their fraudulence without even trying. Every overreaction is a confession, every deranged meltdown is proof of concept. So keep watching, TDS sufferers. Keep frothing. Keep proving the diagnosis in real time with your spittle-flecked rants and your collapsing credibility. Trump isn't just winning elections, he's winning the war for human sanity by making your insanity impossible to ignore. And the funniest part? He's not even breaking a sweat. Stay deranged, you magnificent psychological train wrecks. The rest of us are taking notes and laughing our asses off. Oh my God. Drew Pavlus in Australia said, bookmark this tweet, Ben Roberts-Smith, the war hero, will win in court and then run for One Nation at the next election. I hope he does. Australian Office of Special Investigations Director Ross Barnett on the Ben Roberts-Smith allegations. We don't have access to the crime scenes. We don't have the photographs, site plans, measurements or recovery of projectiles and blood spatter. We don't have access to the deceased. There's no post-mortem report. There's no official cause of death. There's no recovery of projectiles to link the weapons that might have been carried by members of the ADF. Tell me how you prove beyond reasonable doubt he committed war crimes when that's the dog shit evidence brief. He's going to be acquitted, it's obvious. I hope so. James Woods says, setting aside whether her childhood accident was an unconscious act for the moment, her astonishing theory of that most of the rapists, murderers and child molesters in prison acted accidentally is mind-boggling. More importantly, it's a powerful lesson about the liberal mind. We can now be assured that this opportunistic little piece of work, like so many of her ilk, will invariably weep for the criminal but consider his victims, if she indeed considers them at all, as collateral damage. One thing is clear, she's an even more dreadful monster than a vile, dangerous, deranged husband. Gavin Newsom's wife recalls telling prisoners at San Quentin about running over and killing her sister with a golf cart. She said that she wasn't punished because it was an accident, but that the prisoners are doing life even though theirs was probably an accident too. Are you insane, you stupid woman? Oh my God. I can tell she's never been raped. Or murdered, for that matter. But, you know, if she was murdered, she wouldn't be there. Oh, dear me. Minor X said he's off his rocker. Prince William said the Muslim community showed the world the true face of Islam is a religion of peace and understanding. Oh, God, he's lost too. You showed the way we must respond to hate with love. Really? Oh, they must love the people they behead. And the people they kill and the infidels they kill. And yeah, I don't know. Okay, Right Angle News Network said breaking. Veronica Kapralov, a woman from West Palm Beach, Florida, who made a video calling for President Trump to be assassinated, has been fired from her job at Lessing's Hospitality Group, and authorities now have her on their radar. Good. C3, and I think this might be a joke. Breaking news said Judge Boasberg has ruled President Trump must let Iran keep the Strait of Hormuz closed and also spend 15 more pallets of cash to the regime. I do believe that's a joke, guys. Wrong way. Laura Ingram said Adam Harwood, deterrence is back. Harwood, deterrence is back. If they open the strait and stuff starts flowing tomorrow, it's a huge victory for the president. We had lost all deterrence. They didn't fear the United States. That changed because deterrence is back on the table. The Iranians know he was going to take them to the Stone Age. Now we watch what they do. And I just thought this was interesting. Bird said, weird one today. Trump is 47th president. Iran Revolution was 47 years ago. Silver is element 47 on the periodic table. It's National Silver Day today. And today was 4/7. Probably something 4/7 is everywhere. Expecting something to happen to Trump's speech today, during Trump's speech today. And that was, this is days ago now. Probably not even news anymore. Donald J. Trump said a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but probably will. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter and less radicalised minds prevail, maybe something revolutionary wonderful can happen. Who knows? We'll find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long, complex history of the world, 47 years of extortion, corruption and death, will finally end. God bless the people of Iran. Paramount Tactical said, meet Candace Owens' followers. Tara Bull said, this is scary. The Chinese AI agent, Manus AI, is running 50 social media accounts 24/7 automatically. Just know that sometimes when you argue with people on the internet, you're actually arguing with a bot. Okay, there is no point in arguing with people on the internet. Seriously. Because this is what they do. They've been doing it for years. Clandestine said one might argue that this little stunt pulled by CNN could be considered aiding and abetting the enemy during wartime, aka treason. We've been so desensitised to the media being an enemy of the people, but this is insanity. This wasn't accidental. CNN tried to sabotage Trump's peace plan and are spreading Iranian propaganda with the intent to prevent the public from celebrating Trump's great accomplishment. This is proof that left-wing MSM are truly allied with the enemy, co-conspirators, treason. Donald J. Trump said, CNN claimed Iran claims victory, says it forced US to accept 10-point plan. No, it didn't. Donald J. Trump said the alleged statement put out by CNN World News is a fraud, as CNN well knows. The false statement was linked to a false news site from Nigeria and, of course, immediately picked up by CNN and blared out as legitimate headline. The official statement by Iran was just released and posted on Truth Social, or Truth Below. Authorities are looking to determine whether or not crime was committed on the issuance of the fake CNN World statement, or was it a sick rogue player. CNN's being ordered to immediately withdraw this statement with full apologies for their, as usual, terrible reporting. Results of the investigation will be announced in the near future. President Donald J. Trump. Go, mate, go. Retard Finder said very close, but the UK wins. Congratulations, UK. Which one's more retarded, the UK or Canada? Apparently the UK won out, okay? Andy No said a woke trans activist and OnlyFans starlet who was a DEI officer for the Scottish Green Party and an organiser for Sterling Pride has been convicted of a child sex crime. Amelia Connolly, real name Thomas, also runs a disturbing Roblox group. Dear God. Something wrong with these people. And this is just a funny one. Nitor said rare picture of a tree sneaking out of the woods. Oh my God. Looks like it is too, doesn't it? Sneaking out of the woods there. I thought that was funny. Okay. Hey, Darlene, how you going? Okay, aka the family dog protected the child. I think we've seen this one before, haven't we? Okay, anyway, the neighbour's dog escaped, right? Went straight at this child, but the child was being protected by his own dog. Okay, watch. Here's his dog. Now, over here comes the other dog. Here it comes. And another dog from this property, obviously. Oh, sends that dog flying. And the man end up saying, are you okay? But you need to get a higher fence, mate. Seriously, if your dog's going to just escape or shut your gate or something. David Atherton said, this made me laugh. Keir Starmer is a wanker. Wanker or wonker? First photo from the dark side of the moon sent back from Artemis. Yeah, dogs are good value. They really are. Very good. Hey, Jake, how you going? MJ Truth said the alleged statement put out by CNN News is a fraud. We know that. And Gunther Eagleman was Disclosed TV even reported on it. It's not real, brother. Okay. Meshi said a reminder of the real architect behind this saga. The entire Brereton saga was orchestrated from the top by then ADF chief General Angus Campbell, 2018 to 2024, in a blatantly political, virtue-signalling, left ideological manner. From the timing to the wording, the whole affair reeks of national betrayal by the Chief of the Defence Force here in Australia. Number one, it began with a welcome to country. Seriously? 2, the damning quote that defined the narrative. The report finds that some Special Air Service Regiment commanders in Australia fostered within the SAS what Justice Brereton terms as self-centred warrior culture, a misplaced focus on prestige, status and power, turning away from the regiment's heritage of military excellence fused with the quiet humility of service. What the hell does self-centred warrior culture even mean? Special Forces selection and operations are built on high performance, aggressive mindset, mental toughness, and an unapologetic competitive warrior ethos. Exactly the qualities required to hunt and defeat hardened insurgents in brutal combat. Labelling these traits as misplaced focus on prestige, status and power is a direct ideological attack on what makes SAS soldiers effective in the first place. Quiet humility sounds like corporate HR seminar platitude, not the reality of small SAS patrols operating with extreme autonomy under relentless stress during repeated high-intensity deployments in Afghanistan. This is about the soldier who they've tried to arrest. The dangerous implication, by framing self-centred warrior culture as the root problem, they're going to make them all pussies. The statement strongly implied that the broader SAS identity and leadership culture either enabled or actively encouraged the alleged crime. This fed the toxic bad culture narrative that was then used to justify sweeping reforms, endless unit reviews, and the initial push for collective punishment, including the attempted revocation of the meritorious unit citation. Many veterans saw this as classic scapegoating, smearing the regiment's culture to deflect from uncomfortable questions about flawed strategy, restrictive rules of engagement, excessive rotation cycles, command oversight failures, and accountability at much higher levels. Yeah, blame all the ones down below you. That's right. Public humiliation by design. Campbell didn't deliver this internally to the military. He chose to read it aloud in formal national press conference, with the full weight of his office and the national media watching. The emotive-loaded language was broadcast wildly, generating predictable headlines about the SCAS's misguided warrior culture and profound betrayal. This wasn't oversight, it was deliberate. It publicly shamed the regiment, handed propaganda gifts to Australia's adversaries, and perfectly aligned with ADF's longer-term internal agenda of culture change, prioritising progressive organisational values over raw combat effectiveness. Pussifying them, in other words. Sweeping condemnation of the entire regiment. The Brereton report itself examined specific incidents, individual patrols and limited subset of personnel. Yet Campbell presented it as sweeping indictment of the SAS ethos itself. Elite operators who had served multiple combat tours were effectively painted as arrogant, prestige seekers rather than highly skilled professionals operating in one of the most extreme high-risk, high-tempo environments imaginable. ADF Chief General Angus Campbell never faced real backlash for his actions. My God, he looks like some kind of little bird. Okay, Clown World said he'll eventually find out. Ready? This guy's going to eventually find out. Watch this. You might want to fix your gates, mate. Oh. Interesting. Yeah, you got to be careful, mate. Maybe fix your gates. Maybe don't have them in a hole in the rock. I don't know. Department of War said announcement, Operation Epic Fury press conference. That was days ago. The 8th of April. It's now the 11th on Old News, I think. Cat Turd said Marjorie Taylor quitter is out. Trump endorsed candidate is in. The garbage has been officially taken out and thrown into the trash bin of history. Georgia 14, US Special House election runoff, projected winner Clayton Fuller. Eric Doherty said, holy smokes, President Trump just called out CNN for posting. Yes, we know that. Okay, Eric Doherty said, breaking, President Trump just said on a phone call that he is cautiously but seriously optimistic. He told me the negotiations are incredibly complex and does not want them jeopardised. Out of the deal, Iran knew 47 was serious. Eric Doherty said breaking, the price of oil was dropped. This was on the 8th of April, 12% after President Trump got a ceasefire with Iran in exchange for promptly reopening the Strait of Hormuz. And it's continuing to go down. Just like Trump promised, once we formally conclude the war, gas prices will plummet. And I don't even think they've formally concluded yet. And we know about all of this. He's suspended ceasefire. Yep, we know that. Okay, on April the 8th, allegedly, Eric Doherty said breaking, Iran just confirmed it will open the Strait of Hormuz for safe passage following a deal with President Trump. The foreign minister says for 2 weeks safe passage will be possible with coordination with Iran's armed forces. Iran is also agreeing to a ceasefire, they say, if attacks against Iran are halted. Iran caved big time. Cat Turd said anyone posting that Trump is going to nuke Iran is a retard. And Patriot Newswire said Elon Musk is being attacked in the media after calling for parents of transgender children to be jailed for life. Critics say he's transphobic and disgusting for his call to action. Is Musk too harsh, or should permanently disfiguring a child for life be a life sentence? I believe it should be. If you do that to your child, what is going through your head to allow that? Rational Aussie said, for those unfamiliar with Trump's negotiating style, it's called rage bait maxing, and gamers have been doing it in Call of Duty lobbies since 2007. You confuse your enemy by screaming profanities at them through the mic until their mum eventually comes and turns off their Xbox. Lobby themselves or leave the lobby themselves because you've ruined the game. You win a war not because you're the more rational actor, but because you've become so irrational that all third parties in close proximity decide the best strategy is simply to exit the field of battle altogether. You cannot negotiate with unstable main characters. Look at Kim Jong-un. No one even bothers with that guy because his facade is batshit crazy rocket man that starves his own people. Trump is taking a leaf out of that playbook and posturing as the modern Oppenheimer Kim Jong-un II. That was when he swore at, Iran and said, praise be to Allah. He was actually trolling them. Why do you think he mentioned that line today about how Kim called Joe Biden mentally retarded? It was a Freudian slip of sorts. He's been thinking about Madman Kim. You don't have to actually destroy anything to spook your enemy. You just have to make the people believe you probably will. Information warfare. The long-term problem after he tacos again in about 10 hours, is that no one is coming to turn off the Xbox because no one is incentivized to. Thank you for your attention to this impending taco. What? Oh, my God. MAGA Voice said breaking Iran's now officially accepted. Right, okay, I've already reported on that. Pro-America said to those who knew Trump wasn't going to vaporise 90 million people tonight, congratulations, you passed the easiest IQ test of all time. Meanwhile, Iranian TV was telling parents to take their kids to checkpoints to be heroes and human shields. Sickening. Okay, Kate said this is what Tucker, King Charles and his imbecile son, Prince William, call the religion of peace. Do you really want to see it?
The Muslim community showed the world the true face of Islam as a religion of peace and understanding.
Oh, they're so peaceful. They are just so peaceful. They beat their women. Do you do that too, mate? Okay. Right-wing Cigar King said Donald Trump is not the same person I voted for in 2016, 2020 and 2024. He's 100 times better than he ever has been, and I support him wholeheartedly. Okay. Australia's prosecuting their most decorated war veteran, said DC Drano, to demoralise their nation. Leftists hate strong men who love their country. They want subservient simps for their government. Yes, they do. That's why we have a government full of subservient simps and leftist women. Okay, Flopping Aces replying to someone's Spitfire. Okay, the person deleted it. The absolute funniest shit in this clown show is watching Trump's screeching critics go from he's launching World War III right now, you monster, to wow, what a pathetic cuck, he totally caved in under 12 goddamn hours. Let's run the effing tape. Trump shakes the cage like a rabid gorilla. Iran's mullahs suddenly remember how to use a phone. The Strait of Hormuz gets tossed on the table like a bloody steak. Oil prices get curb stomped into the dirt. Gas is already cooling off at the pump, not here in Australia. And these professional panic whores in the media want us to call that a loss. Yeah, sure, Jan, pull the other one. These bedwetting addicts are so hooked on doom porn they'd call a hostage negotiator a spineless pussy for actually getting the hostages home breathing. If Trump had turned Tehran into a parking lot tonight, they'd be howling that he's a bloodthirsty madman. If he extracts blood from a stone without firing a shot, they scream he's folded. Notice the pattern? Trump could personally karate chop an asteroid out of the sky. CNN's Chiron would read, experts fear racist debris may disproportionately harm minorities. Where was I up to there? Here's what actually happened, you mouth-breathing morons. I like these posts. Trump made those bathrobe-wearing mullahs believe deep in their shriveled little souls that he was 100% ready to turn their entire regime into glowing glass. That's why they sprinted to the table like scared rats. That's not backing down. That's raw balls-to-the-wall leverage. That's what happens when the bad guys know that the guy across the table isn't some limp-dicked, scripted State Department eunuch who needs 17 committees, a UN blessing, and New York Times editorial board circle jerk before he's allowed to wipe his own ass. All you doomers, pearl-clutching cat ladies and black-pilled keyboard warriors who spent the entire day shitting your diapers and doom posting can F off right off the app now. Go touch grass, or better yet, touch a rifle. You clearly need the practice. Once again, Trump weaponised pressure, batshit unpredictability, and pure fucking will to drag a pack of hostage-taking fanatics kicking and screaming towards a deal they never wanted. And the same rocket scientists who swore he was about to end the world are now frothing at the mouth because he might have just delivered peace and cheaper gas instead. Absolute fucking clowns. Il Donaldo Trumpo's parody account said, "Don't you know I'm loco?" Funny. President Donald Trump just pulled off an incredible surprise phone call in JD's Vance speech in Hungary, and the reaction from the massive crowd was absolutely electric. As soon as the audience of thousands heard Trump's unmistakable voice come over the line, they erupted into deafening cheers and went completely berserk. JD Vance greeted him with a big smile, saying, "Mr. President, how are ya?" Trump replied with a simple classic hi, and that alone sent the entire room into absolute pandemonium. Vance then told Trump he was speaking live to about 5,000 Hungarian patriots, joking, "I think they love you more than they love Viktor Orban." Trump jumped right in with a strong praise for Hungary's leadership. Viktor didn't allow people to storm your country and invade your country like other people have. This moment perfectly captures the growing global wave of support for leaders who actually secure their borders, put their own citizens first, and refuse to bow to open border pressures. It's a powerful reminder that Trump's message resonates far beyond America and that real sovereignty and strong leadership will win hearts and minds even halfway around the world. God, I love Trump, seriously. I really do. I'm surprised, there's not more Aussies who do. I know a lot of Aussies do love Trump, but I'm surprised there isn't even more because the old school Australians would love Trump. Ex-Muslim Afghana said, "This is what a Muslim husband does to his wife. There are rights. These are the rights of women in Islam as taught to men but in Islam." Okay, I'm only going to show a real tiny bit. Okay, we don't need to see any more. I don't need to see any more myself. It just gets worse from there on in. I think you understand where I'm coming from here. They are not a religion of peace, Tucker Carlson. Where's your head at? Or Prince, what's his face? Or his dad? King Bullshit? Yeah, no. They're not peaceful, mate. Or Albo? Or Starmer? Okay. Awakened Outlaw said the same people who were up until a few minutes ago absolutely convinced Trump was going to vaporise 92 million people have now immediately pivoted to telling you whatever he's going to do next won't work. Ignore the lunatic class. Let Trump cook. Let the man cook. Defiant Els said, when you realise that Jill Biden was president and you weren't. She was, actually, because Joe couldn't run anything. He was a potato. Pepe Deluxe said, if we have Greenland, we won't need all those bases in Europe. Sips coffee. 0 Hour 1 said, breaking, Rubio is looking into shutting 80% of US bases down in Europe after the Iran conflict. And you know what'll happen? Yeah, fend for yourself type thing. It's going to expose everything that Trump's doing is exposure, I'm telling you. Everything he does. Mrs. B said Muslims living with Hindus, problem. Muslims living with Buddhists, problem. Muslims living with Christians, problem. Muslims living with Jews, problem. Muslims living with Sikhs, problem. Muslims living with Shintos, problem. Muslims living with atheists, problem. Muslims living with Muslims, big problem. Muslims are not happy in Gaza. They're not happy in Egypt. They're not happy in Libya. They're not happy in Algeria. They're not happy in Morocco. They're not happy in Tunisia. They're not happy in Iran. They're not happy in Iraq. They're not happy in Yemen, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Syria, Lebanon, Nigeria, Kenya, Sudan. Where are Muslims happy? They're happy in Australia. They're happy in England. They're happy in Belgium. They're happy in France. They're happy in Italy. They're happy in Germany. They're happy in Norway and Sweden and America and Canada. Why are they happy in these countries? Because they breed like wild animals and get to suck on the taxpayer welfare tit. They're happy in almost every country that is not Islamic. And who do they blame? Not Islam, not their leaders, not themselves. They blame the countries they're happy in. And if that's not offensive enough, they want to change the countries they're happy in to be more like the countries they came from where they were unhappy. Islam is cancer. And it is. Melinda Richards said, watch out for the quiet Australians. They may not be so quiet anymore. Yeah, I'm waiting for it. I'm yet to see it, but I'm waiting for it. Shit. Melinda Richards said, gosh, us conspiracy theorists, right-wing nut job cooker climate deniers were right again. Australia's EV charging network faces disaster as surging demand outpaces plugs. Yeah, and, if you can't, I don't know. They're fucking hopeless. Seriously. Okay, Australians said peak Aussie cultural enrichment. Enrichment, yeah. On a day Another day on the line, another specialist showcasing the vibrant future we're forced to fund. Free train travel during the petrol crisis. He left his Ferrari at home. He's vomiting all over the floor. This is our cultural enrichment. Spitting and vomiting on the floor. And listen to this, is actually very funny, actually. This guy's hilarious. So I'm going to make it big and we're going to play it.
This is amazing. Australia has some of the most advanced train cleaners. Here we can clearly see a train cleaner in Melbourne who's using such advanced techniques that he is able to store the specialized detergents in his abdomen. This allows for maximum efficiency and is the reason why Australia has some of the cleanest trains. This is truly a pro member of Australian society. Make sure to follow for more pro members. This is amazing. Australia has some of the...
Yeah. Jesus, it's making me sick. Yeah, see, there's a reason why we don't catch trains. Yeah. Syrian said breaking Ireland has descended into full-scale civil war this evening with anti-government protesters seizing control of major cities across the country, including Dublin. This was on April the 8th, apparently. They've threatened to bring the economy to a standstill if their demands are not met. Wow, no. What's this? Ireland experienced nationwide peaceful protests against rising fuel prices, featuring slow-moving tractor and truck convoys that disrupted traffic on major routes in cities like Dublin. There were no violence, riots or seizures of cities occurred. Okay. I don't know, make of that what you will. And Mila Joy started taking ivermectin, fenbendazole and mebendazole 6 weeks ago, not because they were sick, because they kept asking themselves why they never actually felt good when they were doing everything right and the bloating they had for years gone by week 3. The brain fog that they thought was just adulthood also gone. They didn't expect much. These are old, boring compounds that cost almost nothing. Nobody profits off them, so nobody talks about them. My stack has been 24 milligrams of ivermectin, 444 of fenbendazole and 500 of mebendazole daily by week 2. I suggest that you see a doctor before. I wouldn't follow people. I don't know. I would really, this person's not a doctor, not telling anyone what to do, just got tired of feeling like something was off and decided to pay attention. Most of us have spent years accepting feeling suboptimal as normal. We probably shouldn't. She's going to run the experiment and keep us updated, okay? Yeah, and look, someone's made a meme with medals all over her. Can we just stick them all over her head too? Just cover that head up. Okay. I can't talk. Don't mind me, you know. Hey, did you like X's delusional version of what I look like the other day? I put it up in my community post. Anyone who hasn't seen it, I suggest you go and look. Who is that 19-year-old sitting there? Because sure as hell isn't me. So I'm going to have to take a updated photo for Grok to try and make me a thumbnail. Yeah, I think Grok's a little bit delusional with that one. Anyway. Okay. We already know that. Oh, here, when the AFP senior leadership is a bunch of man-hating feminists that look like this, is it much of a surprise? Yeah, they're leftist-leaning women. Our government's full of it. Look, I don't mind women. Look, I want Pauline Hanson in charge, right? So I don't mind women and being in charge as long as they're not left-leaning lunatic women, virtue signalling all over the place. Like, you know, they need to make themselves feel good. They just look like idiots. Okay, Pete Z said Labor just announced NDIS cuts, the National Disability Insurance Scheme here in Australia, over integrity failures, aka fraud. But 34 senators rejected Pauline Hanson's motion to investigate it. Now suddenly they're acting? 7,000 tip-offs, just 16 prosecutions. They've said this before. Will they actually investigate the fraud and abuse? No, probably not. Okay. Okay, this one. Opinionated black woman auntie, as advertised in Afghanistan, because how else would you find your victims to hold our soldier accountable? established on the 19th of July 2024, with zero evidence needed to be provided. That should tell you everything. Eligibility is limited to individuals who were likely to have suffered unlawful assault or property damage, or family members of victims of unlawful killing, provided they are not members of a terrorist organisation or sanctioned entities. Types of compensation may include monetary payments to individuals or groups, entire villages affected by the loss of a community provider, non-monetary compensation such as construction of community buildings, and letters of apology or acknowledgement. Oh, our government are good at that, aren't they? Giving other people our money. I think I've read this, I'm not sure. Fletch17 said, watching all these accounts flip on Trump and what they're saying now is comical. The amount of egg on people's faces when they see the ending will be out of this world. Yep, I haven't read it out. Okay. Cat Turd said, it's the end of days, the end of times, nuclear holocaust. Now, excuse me while we go to commercial. Where can buy my vitamins to stay healthy? Says Alex Jones. And who's this half-wit? Alex Jones said, planet Earth in crisis. VP Vance should put Trump under house arrest to stop the president from using nuclear weapons on Iran, says former Trump lawyer Robert Barnes. Yeah, lunatics, a lot of you. And one I really don't want to read. The Uncensored Patriot said another baby raped by a gay couple to death. This is Preston Davey, 13 months old, placed with a gay couple for adoption in Blackpool, a former teacher. Just 3 months later, he was dead. Trial starts 14th of April 2026 at Preston Crown Court. Sentenced them both to death. Jesus Christ. Oh, God, please, give me patience. Oh, can you take these people and millstones, please? Millstones, somebody. Disgusting pieces of crap they are. Okay, British Australian community military investigators. Yeah, we've pretty much read that. I just remember Andrew Hastie of the Liberal Party here in Australia. Okay, War Against Woke said, just remember, this Turnbull lover testified against Ben Roberts-Smith. And people want him to be head of the Liberal Party. I hope they all fail. Vote One Nation, guys. Professor Rogers speaks for the, I don't know who. Jesus, did Andrew Hastie have me fooled? He sounds like Turnbull's love child now. Liberal Australia's totally forked. Because he said, warns Canberra must fix the system or risk Pauline Hanson and One Nation reshaping Australian politics. Thank you. I'd rather have Pauline Hanson and One Nation reshaping Australian politics. And if we can't have her, can we have Donald Trump, please? Peter Lofe said medals for distinguished services, chief sandwich maker and knitting instructor. The same Australian Defence, the Australian Federal Police Force Commissioner. Yeah, knitting, crocheting, cooking. I don't even know. Can she cook? I don't know. Pauline Hanson said, your taxes are helping people who aren't Australian citizens buy a first home in Australia, and they get the first home buyer's 5% deposit. Not only are they pushing up home prices for everyone, they're getting into a home that should have gone to an Australian citizen. Enough is enough. Cut off the benefits, cut migration, ban foreign ownership and start deporting. I agree. Australian taxpayers have helped nearly 50,000 migrants purchase new homes since mid-2023 under a generous scheme available to non-citizens. Jesus. This is pretty much out of date. Kamala Harris said the President of the United States is threatening to commit war crimes and wipe out a whole civilization, all because he started a disastrous war of his own making and had no plan or strategy to how to end it. Go home, Kamala, you're drunk. L.H. Gray said, thank the effing gods you're not our president, you venomous low IQ mouthpiece for the DNC scriptwriters. You know exactly what President Trump is doing and who he's speaking to, the theocratic thugs in Tehran who spent decades treating the Strait of Hormuz like their personal extortion racket. This isn't Trump's disastrous war of choice. No, he's ending one. He's not beginning one. Okay, anyway. Yeah, how's this? Rashida Tlaib, Candace Owens, Ilhan Omar, Alex Jones and Marjorie Taylor Greene have called for 25th Amendment removal of Trump. Look, when you're on Rashida Tlaib and Candace Ilhan Omar's side, you're not MAGA at all. You're not right-leaning even. And it makes me wonder, was Tucker ever really right-leaning, or was he just playing the part to make himself more popular? Yeah, I want to know. Anyway, I think that's pretty much the end of it. Just got to see if there's anything more that I... Any person that would defend a regime that puts women and children in front of bombs to form a shield has lost their mind. And only the VP can invoke the 25th Amendment. No one else can. Yeah, it was just all of them saying, you know. Oh, and they're agreeing with Eric Swalwell as well, okay? If you're agreeing with Eric Swalwell, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, then there's something wrong with you, okay? Really, really wrong with you. I just got to make sure. Yep, DEI. That's what she is. Yep, we've gone over that one. Oh, and the one they're trying to arrest, he won a Victoria Cross, the equivalent of Medal of Honor. Okay? Okay, let's go to the comments now, guys. How far back can I go? Oh, that's as far back as I can go. Conchega said the AFP do not exist in law. They're purely a registered business. George said a bit drunk listening to Howard Jones hide and seek. Zal said nice. Timo said ruin the world to make some money. Yeah, they're willing to, a lot of them. Well, influencers would anyway. Maria said Manchurian candidate, dear Shannon, with respect to all. I don't know what you're talking about there. Shannon said Timo and a house. Zal said they're all cabal placeholders, Timo. Sandy said it's their world is falling apart. We is good, exactly. And MAGA's not falling apart. They're just falling apart. That's the only... Yeah, they're projecting, guys. Projection, Your Honour, projection. Yeah, where's Debs? Where'd she go? Oh, God love her. She might be busy. Hope she's all right. I didn't miss her at the beginning and not say hello to Debs, did I? Because I'd feel really bad if I did that. And George is here. Okay. Maria said, I agree with Sandy. Yep. Conchega said, Zal, how's it going? Sal said, waiting for my student to arrive. Oh, wow. Shannon said, light a match. Why? What are you talking about? Sal said, hurty words will get you arrested in the UK, Canada and Australia. Yes, they will. Those hurty words, geez, they're bad. Try getting punched in the face and see how you feel. You think hurty words are hurt? Some of these people, you can tell they've never been punched in the face. Shannon said, Zal is the master. Zal said, Geordie is a complete jerk and sell-out leftoid. Yes, he is. He's not the only one. Remember that blonde guy that was saying that in Saudi Arabia they give the money of their oil back to the people? Yeah, he's a lefty as well. Can't remember his name, but the punter. What's it? Punter someone. Yeah, he's a lefty. Maria said, you said they're going down, we good. So all of it. Sandy, yep. Sandy said, Hev, that's some real merit for the top brass. J1 said, Zal, yeah, complete tosser. Phoenix, hey, gal, me too. Sandy said, oh, yeah, love, I had a realisation. The more darkness, the stronger the light is. Truth is light. Yes. Shannon said, oh, my ears. Who the fuck is Howard Jones? I don't know. Sandy says, resonating everywhere, even at my local bowls club. Oh, good. Maria said, the Australian way, let's all whinge about Albo and go. Zal said, all cabal placeholders. Shannon said, don't click on the link. George is trying to give you ear cancer. What's wrong? What is it? That's a joke, by the way, George. Sandy said, let's have coffee, Maria. Love to go there just to get it out of me, lols. Oh, God love you. George said, Howard Jones is a legend in Britain, Shannon. There you go. Sal said, money is all that matters to the traders in politics. Yeah. Like I've said before, I would do this even if I wasn't earning money because I feel the need to. I think you need to hear my opinion. Not that anyone does, but hey, why not? Everyone else is doing it. No. I saw something happening that was completely different than what other people saw, so I thought I was going to jump on and just give my opinion. Whether it's worth anything or not, that's another matter. Conchega said, New South Wales is not part of the Commonwealth. They're a corporation posing as state parliament. Yep. Zal said, the elite are on a witch hunt. Alex said, I don't watch any of them, only the odd thing from some of them and always switched it off. Where was that? Did I go up, down, I don't know. I don't know what my mouse is even doing, guys. My computer's fucking up real bad. I'm here somewhere. Maria said, the Australian way, let's all whinge about Albo and Co. I think I read that. Zal said, all cabal placeholders. Yep, okay. Let's see if we can go down a little bit at a time. Shannon said, I was just kidding, George. So was Jimmy Savile. George said, Jimmy Savile is burning in hell. Alex said, hey, Phoenix. Up. Well. Okay. Michelle said, we had a movie company and police become involved during a manhunt in New Zealand. Really? Shannon said, yeah, that's what's playing on the pit sound system on loop. Howard Jones. George said, Keir Starmer protected Jimmy Savile. Yep. Conchega said, Michelle, looks like a false flag being planned maybe to take away the can openers. Sandy said, I kind of agree with that list. Yeah. Marco said, we have a just us system. Yes, I agree. Just them, they get justice, but we don't. Shannon said, Jimmy used to molest Keir Starmer along with the BBC elites, allegedly. Conchega said, George, Starmer performed oral on Savile. George said, they're both nonsense. Michelle's got the throwing up faces. I don't blame you. J1 said, they all molest each other. Sandy said, look what they did with The Voice. Yeah, exactly, Sandy. George said, I don't watch The Voice, Sandy. Oh, no, The Voice for Australia, I think she meant. I don't know. Is that what you mean? They took our votes. 68% did not want The Voice in Australia, the Aboriginal voice to Australia, but yet they tried to implement it anyway. Conchega said, look at who Ben Roberts-Smith's daddy is and what school did he attend, then you'll get the idea, Freemason. J1 said the 12-year-old ritual breaks them in for adulthood. Sandy said, no, The Voice was a referendum that was rejected by Australia, but they ignored our voice. Yes, they did. Now where? Yep. Alex said, all part of the same Rancid Club, George. Yep. Conchega said Prince William was born a female. George said, yeah, Alex, the BBC are full of nonsense. Shannon said, same as the referendum to ditch the Royals back in the 90s, all rigged. Shannon said, boys buggering club. Deb said, oh, Deb, hey, go on, Deb, take The Voice and put it in a tampon. Yeah, exactly. George said, F the royal family, they're traitors. So there's Deb. See, she's there. God love you. Michelle said, Ben Roberts-Smith's father is Len Roberts-Smith, KC, a prominent retired Australian judge and former Army Reserve Major General. Len Robert Smith served as a justice of the Supreme Court of Western Australia. Sandy said, Conchega, I heard back in the day that Kate was born a bloke, photos of her naked ass, yep. J1 said, George, they're all Nazis. Now where'd it go? I'm not even doing that, guys, and my mouse is just going up and down. What the freaking hell's going on? Oh, thanks, MRE. Hit the like. Yep, guys. Hang on, where? I was here. Conchega said, Shannon, that is what the 1986 Australia Act was about. They formed their own republic. That's why all states have ABNs, well, the council. Sandy said, I just put my fines on SPER and pay it off $20 a month. I don't miss it and don't care. Greedy pigs they are. You know what? I don't get fined. Can't remember. I think I got fined once for parking and once for like doing 5 kilometres over the speed limit, and this was a long time ago. Shannon said, yeah, he knows his shit. Sandy said, Prince Charles is a Shriner. George said, yeah, Jay and Charles is a Muslim. Conchega said, Sandy, they're all inverted, sadly die as well. Oh, I don't know about that. Deb said, intelligent people don't argue on the internet. I'd agree to disagree because I don't know. I don't think Di was. Sandy said, it's a big club and I'm so glad I'm not in it. I mean, it would be hard to bear if they were real humans, though. J1 said, 13th family, the Muslim Brotherhood. Alex said, that's why I barely made any comments in any other chat or in any videos. Definitely loads of bots around about, and I haven't seen it with... And I've seen it with repeat comments with different names. Yes. Yep. Shannon said, yeah, but shit stirrers do, and I'm Mix Master Deluxe. Yes, Shannon, you are. Okay, Darlene said Ben's father made sure he got the VC. It should have been shared with a few. I can't say more. Okay, fair enough. Sandy said, Alex, this is my favourite chat, like-minded people. Flyby said, they're all following the script. If you've noticed, you couldn't make it up. I know. I just keep thinking, we're watching a movie. This is unreal. This is absolutely unreal. Sandy said, sometimes it's nice to be in an ideological bubble. It's very freeing, no conflict. Yeah. Well, even if you do, just agree to disagree and leave it at that. If they keep going, just leave it. Shannon said, inversion and twisted perversions. George said, Charles is supposed to be the head of the Christian church in England, but no speech for Christians during Easter. I know. He's not a Christian. He's what the Bible says, those who call themselves Christian but who are not, Yeah, Michelle, they're all lost. Jake, he going, and Sandy said, and Flyby, it's been repeated over and over and over, and the cycles of it are getting shorter and shorter. Alex said, well done, that doggo. I know, he saved that little boy. What's going on with this? This is getting weird. I don't know what's going on with my my mouse, my computer. It's all just going stupid. So if I don't turn up tomorrow, you know why, my computer's shit itself. I don't know what's going on here. I've seen that comment like 3 or 4 times. I'm trying to scroll up. Okay. Michelle said, huge dog. George said, Starmer's a wanker. Sandy said, the MSN have lost all credibility. Eat it up, you lying, bored out excuses of humanity. I agree. Sandy said, full of hate I am. Yeah, for the people who deserve it, like the lying media. Alex said, I've been seriously thinking about getting another dog, hopefully a rescue. Yeah. I'd love to have a dog, but we don't have proper fencing here. I don't know. I want to be on land, let the dog run and, you know. Sandy said, for what they've done to our world. I hear you, Sandy. Don't you worry about that. Flyby said, George, we got one in number 10. Shannon said, Mockingbird media is the enemy of the people. I agree. J1 said red healers are so cute till you put your hand near them. Yeah, exactly. Sandy said, regardless of how they take my words, exactly. Conchega said, we've lost more soldiers from suicide than we have in combat. That is terrible. Because they're treated like shit when they get home. Sandy said, tired of them hiding behind rogue player. Yeah, that's just an excuse for them to avoid responsibility at the top because they're the ones giving the orders, right? I think. Sandy said they know exactly what's going on. They monitor and control their own cover-ups before they think of anything else. Exactly. Conchega said, J1, we had a dingo cross blue heeler for years. Our male was a beauty, didn't take shit from any dog, came from an alpine bitch. Oh, nice. Sandy said, I think you're right. J1 said, yeah, Sandy, yet masters of projection. Alex said, so cruel keeping wild animals caged like that. Yep. Shannon said, cameraman fail. I think it was the camera woman. It sounded like a woman anyway. I don't know. J1 said, yeah, my red is quarter dingo, absolute beauty. Flyby said the water board tried to fit a smart meter here today, told them to shove it. It just remember they're still trying to install their infrastructure, dickheads. Yeah. Yeah, George, stop locking big cats in cages. Nisi, how you going from South Carolina? J1 said, yeah, you don't have to lock the car, lol. I would love a cane Corso, to be honest, right? But I need to do a lot more aerobics and get a lot more strength behind me because that thing would pull me off my feet if it really wanted to just go and attack someone, you know? Okay. Alex said, good on your flyby. They tried to do that to be a couple of years ago too, but for gas told them no way ever. Oh, really? Sandy said, these men are not ordinary men. They know how dangerous they can be. They're not afraid. They can think what they want about themselves. They earned it. Yeah, exactly. Shannon said $3.20 a litre for diesel. That's disgusting. Yeah, they're going to milk it for as long as they can. Exactly, Shannon. Because when the first sign of war, the petrol prices fly up even though we're going off petrol that was bought cheaper before the war or whatever, right? But the minute it stops, they don't drop the price again. No, it's going to be weeks, possibly months. Oh, my God. But there's more exposure. If people can't see this, what the Australian government is doing, I don't know what to say. Sandy said, oh, hello, nice. How's things in South Carolina? Oh, Carolina. I just remember that song. Conchega Yowie, no great watchdogs. We have a young bitch anyway. She was put in the front seat of the car. That people taking her came in, went to say goodbye, and it barked at me for walking to the car. J1 said 3:30 here. Wow. Jake said, listen to Constitution of USA read by Max McLean. A lot of answers there. Ooh, that'd be interesting. Thank you, Jake. George said, almost 1 a.m. here. Flyby said, £1.84 per litre last time you filled up. Wow. J1 said, Yowie, yep, full on, they just know. Shannon said, past your bedtime windows, you need your beauty sleep. Whose windows again? Who are you talking to, Shannon? George said, I don't need petrol, I have my legs. Yeah, unless you're really far away from things and then you kind of need petrol. Oh, I don't know what this is doing. God, guys, seriously. Okay, here I am, somewhere here. Alex said, looks like diesel is £1.87 here at ASDA, which is usually the cheapest supermarket. Shannon said it went up 5 cents from when I went past on the way to work coming home. Oh, really? Sandy said, oh, have that zoo is horrible, but some zoos, the animals aren't even being fed. They're starving but can't release them. So sad. Oh, that's terrible. I hate, honestly, I used to love zoos when I was young, But I hate zoos and I hate circuses now. Maria said, if that's peace, what's war for them? Sandy said, not in Australia, it hasn't, as of yesterday. Shannon said, lion steaks are delicious, unfortunately. They think the same about human steaks. Yes, they do. Sandy said, Elon's hurt, they stole his child. I know. Yep. That's terrible. Alex said, that's heartbreaking, Sandy, those poor innocent animals. Sandy said, it's got to the point, Alex, I need to know about these things, but I don't want to know. I hear you, Sandy. J1 said, if that is the original Elon, he'd be struggling with what he was brought up in. Maria said, hey, George, how are you? Shannon said, he's got plenty of them, so many he had to start using numbers in their names. Besides, one of those spoilt little brats was rude to Trump. Sandy said, yes, Jay, they took him when he was about 8 because he was brilliant. Yeah, and then tried to turn him. Tim S. said, Trump is twitchy-eyed leader. You never really know how he'll behave if you aren't paying attention and believe the naysayers spreading news. Exactly, Tim A. He's like a bull in a china shop. I knew that before he was elected. Bull in a china shop. Let's see how it goes. And yeah, he is. But it's good. You need someone who can intimidate the rest of them into shutting up and sitting down. Sandy said his mother's a real strange bird. Conchega said, no, Elon 2.0 mask wearer. Sandy said, Elon came from Mars and is repopulating the Earth with marblings with alien mothers. Sherry said, yeah, not the real Elon. Marshlings, you mean? Marslings. Shannon said, yeah, he's correct. May have been swapped out. Maria said, okay for Saturday. George, house cleaning and listening to Lovely Have My Hero. Oh, God love you guys. J1 said 90% of Australians still hooked on MSM. I know. I don't get it. If they can't see it by now, I feel sorry for them. Where are their brains? They've got some grey matter. How about we start using it? Oh, Sandy said, these women and Elon remind me of the days of Noah. Maria said, I agree. Love Trump, Melania. I do too. I seriously wish Trump would come over here and sort our government out. Conchega said, Mars is outside our ice ring. Yeah, I thought that from ages ago. But space isn't what we think it is. I don't know. Alex said they want to make that normal worldwide too. Madness, danger, danger everywhere now. George said, okay, Maria, I need to do some house cleaning as well. Sandy said someone at the market the other day was telling me about how excited they were about Artemis lols. Oh, God. See, what the hell is now it's gone up. Oh, my God. Slowly down. Slow. Shannon said, guns don't kill people. Clintons kill people. Yeah, exactly. Flyby Shoe said, have true that. Shannon said, Teep. Alex said, I know what you mean. The more I know, the more frustrating it gets. Sometimes I just have to switch off. That's their plan, though, to drive us all mad. Jake said, Costco, Alex, try there for diesel. George, night. Al, lol, we have a ship called Dragon. I think it's packed in. George said, the hillbillies had plenty on their death list. Sandy said, yeah, Conchega, if you take footage of the moon, you have the contrast, it turns into space. Our Earth is a giant flat plane. Sandy said, Alex, what do you think of all those animal rescue videos they're producing these days? I feel like they're set up. If they do, it's cruel. I do, Sandy, it is. A lot of them are set up. You know, those rescue animals. J1 said, I live in a tent after cleaning up. You would think I lived in an Amazon warehouse with all the shit I threw out. Oh, really, J1? God love you. Alex said, this is why I'll never get on public transport again. Shannon said, there's a reason they say in this plane of existence, yes. George said, the Irish government are traitors just like, I know they are. I come from Ireland. They're sickening. The government. Sandy said, I hated Trump till I heard him speak after coming down the elevator. Everything changed for me. He's not who we think he is. He's better. Yeah, well, I didn't trust him at first. I was sort of like, I know he's a bull in a china shop, but like, well, wait and see. So, yeah. But then I started to love him as I seen him do what he was doing, and I'm like, yep, I love this man. Alex said, I was thinking the same. I've seen a few and I've heard that some of these people have put animals in danger, like sticking one of them in hot tar just to get the video. It's sick. Yep. J1 said TDS is a real disease. Yep. Deb said cover the face. Shannon said I have brain fog probably because of all my brain farts. Oh, good on you, Shannon. George said I'd rather have Trump in UK than Starmer. Yep. Tim said it's weight dependent. Whilst it won't kill you with overdoses, it will fuck you up in ways you've not imagined, lol. Yes. That's why I said don't take it until you speak to someone. Timmy mainly. But it's weight dependent. Even if Timmy doesn't know what your weight is, he can't tell you how much to take either. So, like, yeah. It's, don't overdo it, guys. Alex said, I know there are lots that are genuine, but some of them are just for clicks and put animals in danger. Well, a lot of people are that way now on social media. Like, I could do it, but I don't. I could, like, make these massive headline claims, but I don't. I could just go in conspiracy theories everywhere, but I don't. I want the truth, okay? That's what I want, the truth. I want the truth. Okay, I don't care if it is or isn't a conspiracy theory, but I want the truth. And I am a conspiracy theorist. So there you go. But, Alex, I think the internet's full of it, seriously. And whether people are selling stuff in their videos or whether they are got ads on there or whatever, you know, I can't do that. I'm not a salesperson. I cannot sell anything, really. I'm hopeless at it. And I don't want ads all over my videos. Sandy said, I aren't with them, Alex. I can't with them. It puts a worm in my heart and slaps my face. It's under the guise of caring such cruelty. Yes. Concheka said, J1, we did a lot of camping in the bush when we were a kid. We'd go out for 2 weeks at a time. We were only 12. Got me how we all fitted inside a 3-man tent. Yeah. Alex said, yes, I know. It makes me want to cry, Sandy. J1 said, yeah, so many glampers these days. Oh, I love glamping. Alex said, I do often cry watching them. Flyby said, yowie, how's it going, bro? Sandy said, it might get real sick, AI. It might be real sick, AI. Yeah, it could be. Shannon said, loose lips sink ships, especially try now modern Navy with all those female captains. Oh, dear. George gives Alex a hug. Conchega said, J1, we would take rabbit traps and steal yabbies from station dams, dig our own water from creek beds, play survival games. What we learnt then will come in handy now. Yep. Deb's laughing at Shannon. Sandy said, when you're sad and no one's around, you've got to give yourself a hug. Yep. George said, looks like rejected Becky Blinder. Sandy said, it completes the trauma cycle so your body can let it go, otherwise it stays stored in there somewhere. Conchega said, nuclear weapons are just like Santa, Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny or Furfies. Yeah, I heard it's just TNT, mega amounts of it. I don't know. Shannon said, yabbies. Oh, love yabbies. Sandy said, true. Alex said, what the fuck? Evil, disgusting monsters, that poor I know. Oh, my God. They're the things I hate reading, to be honest. But, you know, look, it needs to be said because, sorry, guys. Yeah, it needs to be told because people need to know that this is what these people are doing. J1 said, yowie, yep, we'd go with Grandad. Our tent was the tinny overturned when it rained. No ice, bully beef and tomatoes. Conchega, yowie, said, Shannon, back in the day at the Anna Branch, we were as big as a long neck. Deb said, moonface, Shannon. Alex said they don't even vet these pedos. Oh, why did it do that? They just hand the innocent baby straight over and they'll keep doing it too. I know. Michelle said, Shannon, New Zealand had a Navy ship sunk, all-female crew. I heard about that. Alex said, the world's completely backwards. Shannon said they still are in the backwaters here in the Riverland. And J1 said, it's an it. Conchega said, Jay, now that is how you do it. Nothing like a good foreign swag. George said, Alex, there are a lot of people who should be in prison. Shannon said, reverse world girl, yeehaw. Conchega said, Shannon, sadly, people just take them without looking underneath for berries and for females and size them as well. Haven't had a feed for years. Alex said, agreed, and can't happen fast enough. They protect the criminals more than the victims and survivors, George. Flyby said they need a reverse penalty for treason in this neck of the woods. Prisons are full. And that's where it just jumped. Okay, how far back can I get? Around here somewhere. Okay, it's here somewhere. George said a lot of demons run this world, yep. Shannon said peace through strength, yes, exactly. Conchega said fly by a hemp necktie, mate. Shannon said Satan rules here, yeah. Flyby said that'll do it, yowie. Sandy said if they're going to try Ben in the media, then the public need to be given the details so we can make our own judgment. Yep, Sandy said it's a setup. Jake said Shannon, thumbs up. George said Shannon Satan might rule for the time being, but he'll end up losing, yes. Conchega said fly by, invest and help, you'll become a millionaire overnight. Yeah, Shannon, fang, fang, bang, bang. Yeah, Eric Swalwell, bang, banged, fang, fang. Jake said Ronald Reagan. Sandy said he lost George, he gambled with our humanity and lost. He isn't human, no chance. Conchega said George, nah, he's paraded once a year in a red suit. Sandy said, I'll risk Pauline, how about you? Yeah, yep. Deb said, I'm trying to arrange thank you gifts for all that helped on Stories Day. Oh, God love you. Shannon said, hemp is a gift from God. No wonder it's banned. Deb said, please forgive me, folks. Much love to you all. No, fun. Deb, you go do what you got to do, doll. Conchega said, Sandy, NA, corporate politician, reads section 44 for what's V5 of the Commonwealth Constitution Act 1901. Sandy said, oh, hello, Deb, didn't notice you in the chat. Oh, Deb said, stormy day. Shannon said, socks is sitting in my chest. Found the claw and eating thing. Oh. Deb said, what's happening with eyes? Where? J1 said, found a couple of seeds and some medical weed. No wonder they just got thrown out and started to grow. Would that be a crime? Oh, I don't know. Sandy said, maybe the rapture came and we all got left behind. Maybe. Conchega said, Sal did an exorcism. Flyby said, what you been doing, Deb? Sandy said, Jay, only if you didn't know they were there. Sandy said, growing, I mean. George said, we've missed the rapture. We would be in hell. It feels like that. Oh, my God. Oh. Okay. I'm around here somewhere. Sandy said, oh, George, I just remembered my experience with eyes. I was being sarcastic. Please forgive me. I shouldn't be so horrible. Sandy said, I know one day I got a surprise and I let it be. If nature didn't want it there, it wouldn't have grown. So Deb said, the corrupt pedo English institution is an old problem. Conchega said, see your peeps chores to do. I know what that's like, yep. Oh, you know what I've got a chore to do after this? Sleep. At about 3 hours sleep last night. I am tired. Sandy said it was there in the cradle of civilization. Joseph got sold to slavery, human trafficking, and slaves were a normal economy. Flyby said, in a bit, yowie. Jake said, the Great Awakening, yeah. Alex said, I don't know. Pork Chop came in and said eyes needed help but didn't reply. I asked what happened if he was okay. Oh, no, really? George said a lot of nonsense in the UK, Deb. I hope Eyes is all right. Deb said, I checked his page. I couldn't see anything. Alex said, when I asked, same, Deb. She said, I hope he's all right. Flyby said, yeah, George, what do you think about them shipping in like-minded people? Alex said, I hope he's okay. Sending him love and prayers, Deb. Yeah, Deb said, I hope he's okay. Sandy said, yeah, no hard feelings if he's having trouble. I'm not that mean. Just like to be pointy, no harm intended. Sandy said towards him, just, well, you know. George said deporting. Deb said, I mean the fight with bots. Deb said speaking to another person is very different. Yep. George said, Lucky would love your mouse have. Yep. Flyby said, Mr. Lowe might be the only answer. Don't trust Nigel. Oh, my God. Yeah, don't trust Nigel. You were right in that, Alex, by the way. Okay, Sandy said, you have in Albo's mind he can say I listened to Australia and then I ignored what they said and turned my back on them for not supporting me. Oh, Sandy said, hey, have, not you have. Okay, yep. Sandy said, I'm probably in credit now. I've been paying it for years. God love you. Alex said, we're all family here and have different views and don't always agree, but we still love each other at the end of the day. Yeah, exactly. Sandy said, that's what I like about this chat, Alex. Sandy said, I'm so glad you guys accept me in spite of me being me. Look, everyone's welcome here, okay? And we are, you know, sometimes we are going to disagree with things, and I can agree to disagree. It doesn't mean I don't like you. It doesn't mean I won't listen to you. You know, same vice versa. If you can agree to disagree with me and still listen, that's great. I appreciate that. I respect that, actually, a lot. Because a lot of people these days are going, I don't agree with you, so bye. I mean, it depends. If there's a whole shitload of things you don't agree on and you just think this is not my person, then fine, you know. But just, having a disagreement on something and then going off in a huff is not a great idea. Shannon said, but if you train it properly, it will never pull you off your feet. Oh, yeah, that's what I was hoping, Shannon. Sandy said, so I'm cool with Eyes as long as it doesn't get personal. Yeah. George said, the UK has plenty of oil in the North Sea. Just know that Eyes does talk a lot of religion and, oh, George, your windows, eh? O'Brien. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, my God. Yeah, just know that Eyes is very religious and he just quotes from the Bible and, he's just, that's him. I accept him the way he is. I don't always agree, but, hey, you know. Sandy said, George, they have never-ending supplies, just haven't been told that it's there yet. Alex said, always, everyone's welcome here. We're all adult enough to agree to disagree. You're all my second family, exactly. Flyby said, we literally sat on how much coal they can use. It's much cleaner now. Paranormal Oz, how you going? You're late, just lurking and working today. Hope you're well, Herb. And everyone's sorry, can't speak. No problem at all, Paranormal Oz. I appreciate you watching. Alex said, yes, and the crazy thing is we buy it from Norway, we cook the oil ourselves. Yes, all of us can, and yet they don't, because they're trying to bring us down to third world status. They want the first world to become the third world, and they can rule over us. No, thank you very much. Oh. George said, Alex, are we being ripped off in the UK? Yes, you are. Shannon said you can set your watch by Para as long as you want to be 2 hours late. Oh, God love you. He is joking, Paranormal. I think you know that, though. Deb said add diabombers to that too. Flyby said, how much you paying for diesel? Oh, it's about $3.20, $3.30 here. $3.20, $3.30 per litre. Alex said, definitely, George. We have been for decades. We've been cleaning out my spare room, found some old shopping booklets, and the difference in price is crazy. Shannon said, Obama's only kill rivers and cooks. Sal said back. Sal said, it's Trump 2.0. Have no one was coming to save us. Shannon said, Mohab. George said, the prices are only going to get worse, Alex. Shannon said, my wait, you say about 15 minutes. Deb said, don't lie about your weight when you're talking to Dr. Timmy now, please. Yeah, no need to lie about weight, no. Alex said, I know, that's why I had been slowly stocking up, but I need to get more, I think, for when the shit really hits the fan. Shannon. Dr. Timmy doesn't like to wait. He wants you to come immediately. Alex said, yes, lots of it is just lies and why I hardly watch anything these days. Heavy, I don't blame you. Deb said, are the royals reptilian? Remains to be seen, Deb. Flyby said, I'm just wondering if I should buy petrol for my generator now. Could do with some solar panels. Shannon said, Queen Elizabeth birth. Oh. Alex said, definitely parasites, Deb. Deb said, like our 6, Shannon. Deb said, oh my God, you got a Shannon. Sandy said, we need to reinforce the stalking laws. Girls being followed and harassed. Yes. They just need to enforce the laws, period. And half the stuff that's happening wouldn't be happening. George said, Charles, not my king. Shannon said, not my king. And it jumped again. Around here somewhere. Nor mine, said Alex. Normalising cruelty is such a perverse manner. Yeah. Alex said, it's so sad it's come to that. We used to feel so safe even walking at night. Yeah. Yep. Flyby said, William isn't either. They all need to just go ask Charlie about Savile. Sandy said someone had to tie up up the board better than Jesus' sword when he came back. Yep. Sandy said, when I say better, less painful. Alex said, I can't stand any of them. Flyby. The only one I did was Diana. We all know what they did to her. George says, Sandy, we have a lot of perverse people in the UK. Shannon said, Sir Jimmy Savile, tight me with me baton. Shannon said, F you autocorrect, Sir Mountbatten. Oh, okay, yep. Sandy said, at least the conspiracy lies are more believable than the garbage the left passionately defends. Yes, they are. Flyby said, if anybody hadn't noticed, the evil root of all this is embedded in the UK. Yeah, no, I get that. Shannon said, check your phone, Have. Where is my phone? Holy shit. Oh, it's here right in front of me. Hang on. What am I checking? A short? What's the short, Shannon? Oh, video. Oh, of your cat making biscuits on you. Oh, that's cute, Shannon. Alex said, agreed, Flyby. Shannon said, oh, shit, hang on. No, that's not what Shannon said. That's what I said. Shannon said, are we not in hell now? George said, Mountbatten was a nonce. Lisa, how you going? Good to see ya. Sandy said, maybe the shadow of it teetering real close these days. Shannon said, nonce. Darlene said, Have look up Dave Farrell SAS on YouTube, quick hero vid. If you can remind me tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. J1 said, bless you all, catch you on the next one. You too, J1. George said, love you all. Take care, God bless, see you soon. Hey, well, Stu, how you going? Laugh my ass off. Zal's the only one to call him out. Deb said, love and prayers to our Hevites family, Dolores the Moon family, Eyes and all in chat. Yeah, we haven't seen Dolores for a while. I hope she's okay. I was just at hope you're all well. Maxie is fighting fit and I'm okay. That's good to hear. Deb said, oh my God, O'Brien, I get it now. Yeah. Joyce said, I'd rather walk than own a car. Oh, what's coming up 2 a.m.? Whoa, I'm going to get my head down in a bit, guys. Flyby said, yep, no problem. Have a good night. Deb said, I sprained my ankle, so I can't type. Deb said, plenty of empty country town folks. Is there? I want to go to one. Deb said, I can scooter to the shop now too. Alex said, take care, God bless, sleep well, see you soon, flyby. Shannon said, the chat said, Alex is king. George said, how does spraining your ankle stop you from typing? Everyone's laughing. Shannon said, where's Muskie? Shannon said, has Canada fallen? George said, the UK has fallen. I'll say Australia's fallen. Deb said, George, great pain relief. Shannon said, she's normally about a boot. Shannon said, I heard my name mentioned. Alex said she might be doing chores. Shannon said, Australia's fallen. Sal said, going to get a coffee next. And that is the end of the chat. Okay, guys, if I don't turn up tomorrow, I'll let you know on the phone if my computer has some major meltdown again, because it seems to be doing it all of a sudden, and I don't know why. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow, because I'll be here tomorrow, okay? I am perfectly willing to come back tomorrow, as long as my computer lets me. Okay, guys, I hope you have a good one. Yeah, gremlins in the machine, mate. Ghosts in the machine. Okay, have a good one, everyone. Much love to you all. Talk to you soon. Bye.